9:02.
9:02? I don't know about that. Well, hey, all right, everybody, right now, comment in the chat. What time is it where you at? Comment in the chat. I've got 9 o'clock on my computer. Now it's 9:01. My phone does say 9:02, though.
It's definitely 9:02, bud.
Oh, my God. So my computer's wrong. Well,
How's your computer wrong? How do you fuck that one up, bud?
dude, hey, no, listen. No, we're not doing this tonight, PJ. We're not doing this tonight. Like, I'm not in the mood for your crap.
You know what you're getting yourself into by bringing me on this.
No, nobody else is either. Like, we're not even a minute into this podcast, and I'm already thinking about just hitting the mute button.
Damn, that kind of hurt my feelings.
No,
Right.
I mean, I'll unmute you eventually. I mean, I may even leave it up to the chat, see if they want to mute you. I can run a poll and kind of see what we get.
I'm trying to find the chat so that way I can keep up with it.
Yeah.
It hasn't loaded on my phone yet.
No, I mean it's kind of slow going. We usually maintain about between 15 and 10 and 15 viewers, like watching this thing live. So it won't get too busy, but it's kind of nice to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
Q says get it together. Well, Q, yeah, pull the shade. Now I only pull the shade down on Q, so Q will be riding in the truck, and Q will get on get on some shithead stuff. So I'll just reach up and just pull the shade down like it's a window in a house or something, and we don't have to deal with his crap.
You gotta pull that partition down.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I gotta be done with him for a minute. Eric Son says, "What's up?" At a basketball game, taking pictures. Yeah, Eric, maybe we need to get you some AirPods so you can just pop one in. He goes around and takes pictures. We'll just get you some AirPods so you can still listen to the podcast. That'd be dope. So how's everybody doing tonight? It's BP Hero Podcast, Season 7, Episode 4. We're going to do the usual. Let everybody kind of file in here and give everybody 10 minutes or so. Kind of get in, get the notifications going. And then we're just going to start firing away on my man PJ here about this Spiderz Mega Draft I was corrected to say. Let me fix that right now. Spiderz Mega Draft. There we go.
Who corrected you?
You.
When did I correct you?
You tagged me on Facebook and said BP Hero. It's Spiderz Mega Draft.
No, that's the just the Facebook page.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like,
no,
hey, you're doing this wrong. I mean, that's something you would do.
Did you not read the meme underneath it?
No.
It said things that are like a cult but aren't a cult.
Oh man, so I gotta try not to laugh too hard today. Had a small medical procedure this morning, so I'm trying not to laugh too hard to get these stitches rolling. But
where'd you get stitches from, bud?
Well, we'll have to talk about it later. We're not gonna tell the whole internet, but just the transition's going great.
That's good to know.
So listen, everybody knows PJ from our vlog we posted last week, which went over really well, by the way. And hopefully next time we hit, you do decide to wear something better than a Bang Bros shirt.
You should know I have better things than that.
Well, I mean, you really didn't think man, there's gonna be kids at batting cages. Maybe I should wear a Bang Bros shirt. Explain to me your thought process there.
When I wore it, it was more or less. One second, you're okay. It was more or less a decision of. It was comfort.
So you told me you didn't have any other shirt that was comfortable besides one that says Bang Bros on it? In front of the kids. Yeah, Matthew Clark said it. In front of the kids.
So my favorite jerseys, I from playing with me on Chaos.
Oh yeah.
Long sleeves. Long sleeves is where I'm comfortable. I'd rather wear long sleeves.
No, and I get that too. It's so it's kind of like a, what do you want to call it? Kind of like an old man theory, maybe. Long sleeve. Even in the sun, you wore long sleeves.
Yeah, because I'd rather be hot for the day than sunburnt for the next week.
Yeah, and that's kind of I don't hate that idea really. I mean, most of the dry fit stuff breathes pretty well anyway. So, it's it's one of those deals where it's not going to kill you if you do get a little bit warm. I mean, you got to drink water, maybe a little more water, but.
But the worst part about it is I hate whenever long sleeves don't have like a good cuff.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Like they can't come down past my hand. That's when it bothers me.
Yeah, I will agree with that. It's got to have like the stretchy cuff on it.
Yeah, but that Bang Bros jersey has the perfect cuff. It's just it doesn't go below my hand. It sits like right on my wrist line.
All right, we're gonna have to set a motion right now to make some long sleeve BP Hero shirts for you to wear when we hit, so you don't wear shit like that.
I mean, you know I will.
Oh man, yeah. So for those that just kind of like catch everybody up, I've known PJ's brother for a good long while now, and love that guy to death. And ended up just kind of like through a circle of friends, ended up getting in with a team. What year was that? Was it 2018, PJ?
Chaos was 2019.
Was it 20? Okay, so it was 2019. And a friend of mine who turned out to be a mutual friend of ours was Chris Odell, and he's like, "Hey, look, it's like I'm running a team next year. It's just gonna be D team with some new guys. Just try to get everybody out, get some swings, and that kind of thing." And man, we ended up hitting it off with a pretty good majority of that gang. Man, it was a good time. Had old Sammy. I haven't seen Sammy in the chat in a while. Sammy's busy doing dad stuff. I get it.
We went from, I mean, like on paper, we had a very solid team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It just never worked.
It's weird how that always works too. Yeah, we had a decent number of good players, and don't get me wrong, like we weren't like the laughing stock. I know somebody made the joke one time that we were the armed and hammered of current day softball, and one that stings because like I was on that armed and hammered team, and I'm gonna tell you something, it was atrocious, but I promise you that there was nobody in the park that had a better time than we did. I can tell you right now.
I only believe. The only tournament we won was like a 4-team tournament, and we split like half with like the Iron Pandas.
No, we won that NSA tournament there in Columbia.
That was with the Iron Pandas.
Oh, you meant split half the team? Yeah. Yeah. So that was funny though. I actually talk about that on the podcast from time to time. That was the day that a lot of the guys on the team kind of took for granted, like we're playing this senior team, and they're all thinking like, oh, we're gonna blow them out of the water, and I mean they beat us first game of the day.
They beat the shit out of us too.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I mean, it just kind of makes you appreciate the game in regards to like you don't have to hit every ball as hard as you can. You don't have to, hit all the home runs. You just got to be good at what you do. And they definitely showed us in the first game. But by the time we got to them, we were just young and had more energy than they did. So we ended up just putting them under. But that was fun. It was a learning experience for everybody.
I mean, besides Odell taking the average age up to like 40 something, the rest of the team was still like in their 20s. Like I think you might have been the second oldest player on that team.
It was me and Sammy. But when Odell wasn't there, it would be me and Sammy. And Chase. I forgot about Chase.
Chase is in the 30s, isn't he?
Chase is Chase played 35 and over with Roach this year.
Yeah, but I think he's like freshly 35.
Yeah, we'll see. He's 35. I'm 33. So I guess it would have been Sammy, Chase, and then me. But regardless of the fact,
that team. The one thing I cannot take away from that team is we played NSA very well.
Yeah, for whatever reason. I mean, how could we play, U-Trip so well and then, NSA so well and then go to U-Trip and just look like fish out of water? I'll never understand it.
I think we have the most stolen golf carts in team history.
Dude, that is lit. That is lit. I wish Steven Franzen was here so we could quiz him on that. That was a good time, by the way.
I'm pretty sure McDermott still has that bat.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still swing it.
Oh my god! I always wondered what happened to that bat. I don't know if somebody just like threw it away when they got home with it or what.
That's probably one of my favorite like slow pitch softball stories.
Go ahead and tell us then.
It's Steven Franzen. First of all, I don't even want to like throw him under their bus, but he found a golf cart. We'll leave it there.
Yeah. He didn't. Yeah, he found it. Good call.
He found it. He drove it to the parking lot to get some beer, and I think they took some bags back to the car. Well, he's driving back, sees his brother Ryan. Steven gets very focused on Ryan and starts flipping him off for whatever reason. And Steven found one of the guys from the Chicken Hawks bat bags with one of the tires.
Dude.
And dragged it about 10 feet.
Dude, listen. He didn't find that bag. He annihilated that bag. Like I'm standing probably like 60 feet away from this when it happened. I saw Steven, like I saw him leave to go to the parking lot, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. It's a to kind of paint the picture here for the people. It's a midnighter tournament, and like there wasn't a yeah. Well, hey, we're not telling that part of the story, PJ. It's a part
No,
of
but that leads the 0-2 part leads to the amount of drinking that happens.
Okay, you're right. You're right on that one. So we're done early, but we're all hanging out. It's kind of a midnighter. It's kind of one of those deals like once you get done, everybody just kind of hangs out. Like it was kind of cool to like be there watching the championship as the sun came up, you know. But
we hadn't played in like 6 hours before that.
Yeah, dude, it's starting to get cold too. So I know it had to be cold for everybody that had been drinking. So the golf cart takes off to the parking lot. It comes back, and Steven, I can't remember who he had. Was it Fortune he had with him?
It was Fortune, and I want to say he had one of the girlfriends with him.
I can't remember, but he went blowing by me. I was like, oh, you know, the bunch of idiots. And I hear this boom, and like this wasn't just like a crunch or like a pop. It was like boom. I'm like, dude, they just hit somebody with the golf cart, or they ran into something. And you turn around and like they're like backing the golf cart up, and somebody lifted the front of it up to get the bag out from underneath it. And he hit the bag so hard and drug it that it rubbed like what, probably a good half inch off the knob of a what legit was it?
It's that OG EST.
Was it? Yeah.
It was either that or the 20th anniversary.
Whatever it was, it was something valuable, not just like, you know, a regular bat. It was something valuable. And to Steven's credit, he pulled out his wallet, paid the man for his bat and everything else. He made it right. You know, it's not like he just like said screw off, but it was just so funny. Like leave it to the chaos guys to just turn anything into a good time.
You wouldn't find a better group than us, though.
No.
Like let's be honest.
No,
as far as like a team that like no matter how terribly we played, we had a good time.
Oh, dude, no doubt. I mean, it's like my wife would get all excited. She's like, "Are you going to play softball this weekend?" I'm like, yeah. She's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to see about going." Like, even she wanted to come laugh at us. I mean,
we had, what was it, NSA Worlds, when we all went to get, what's it called after? We went to get barbecue.
Barbecue place, yeah. What was the name of that place?
I don't know. It was some Kansas City barbecue place. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Kurt Aldrich spent like $75 on his own. He ate like 4 different plates. I remember that.
Dude, that was...
I still have a video of Sammy riding the little kid horse outside of the like establishment, like one of those little quarter machine horses.
You should 100% send that to me, like right now. We'll pull that up. Sammy, where you at? Sammy's gonna wish he was in here.
I sent to you on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
I pray. He just looks so genuinely happy in this video too.
Dude, Sammy is a genuinely happy person. I just, you know, sitting here kind of thinking about him, like it's been a minute since we've seen him in the podcast, but he did have a little kid, you know, little babies kind of take up time. Congratulations to Sammy and the crew. I do leave us said that on the podcast right after they had their baby, but you know, got to make sure we get Sammy taken care of. So, while this is loading, let's briefly get started here. So, what we brought you here for tonight, PJ?
Yeah.
So it's been a while now. Like, when was the first? So the Spiderz Draft Mega Tournaments, we got to talking about them a while back. So essentially, it's just a giant Super Draft tournament, right?
It is a giant Super Draft tournament at this point.
Yeah. So, like, what got you started on it? How long have you been playing in these?
This will be. So I started. My first one was in Fort Lauderdale in March of 2019.
Okay.
I saw it on Instagram. And at first I was like, this isn't real. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, random draft tournament on the beach. Like, none of it really made sense. I saw it was ran by Spiderz, and I was like, okay. Like, I was wearing Spiderz batting gloves at the time anyways. Like, without knowing I was like, okay, this has to be, like, some kind of trustworthy experience.
Sure. You would think anyway.
Yeah. So, got drafted probably, like, not even like a month before. Like, this was before, like, now everybody like puts together their own group chats and stuff with their team. Like, we used a Facebook group for this.
Okay.
And so like we'd only hear from each other like once every like 3 weeks before
Leading
this
up to.
draft. Yeah, so like when we got there, like we knew we had 2 pitchers. We knew we had a bunch of shortstops. I think my team had like 6 shortstops or 7 shortstops
Golly.
in the draft. Because when they first did it, it was just like a pure like Spiderz started with like I think they did AWS Worlds.
Okay.
And they took like a men's D team that was randomly put together, then like a random C team like that was drafted together.
So it wasn't originally just an actual super draft. It was just a collection of people.
It was just a collection of people that they just like drafted onto teams to take to work. From my understanding, I didn't go to that. Then they did like an actual draft in Vegas, like the next might have been like a couple months later or whatever. And then they did Lauderdale. Well, after Lauderdale, I was hooked. I was like, this is a great time. So I signed up for the next spring break, which would have been PCB of 2020.
PCB
so
is what?
Panama City Beach.
Okay.
So that was a whole year later. That same year, I did Nashville and Vegas. That was my first time in Vegas. I mean, you can imagine how many... Yeah, you can just imagine me in Vegas. It probably wasn't a great time.
So somebody had a great time.
Oh, I had a fantastic time.
Yeah, you did.
So that's 4 now. Just did 2 more last year, which would have been PCB and Nashville again. Those are my 2 favorite ones.
Just the area because of the area.
I wouldn't say because of the area, but it's definitely more of like it's a home. It feels more like a hometown tournament.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like anywhere you go in the city, like you're gonna see people that you know.
Okay.
Like, there's more of like an intimate vibe to it.
Sure.
But then you get like Vegas. Like Vegas is massive. You're not gonna run into more than 10 people the entire weekend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I definitely enjoy like the more like everybody's at the fields, hanging out, watching each other play. Most people are brutally hammered.
I mean, that's okay though, right? I mean,
it's one of those tournaments that. So I'm a firm believer in this. If my team loses both pool play games, I'm drinking.
So you don't drink while you play anyway?
I don't typically. I mean, if you know me as like a ball player, I don't typically drink while I play, unless it's league.
Right.
And even then, like I don't like getting like trashed while I play because I'm a pitcher. Like I ain't trying to get.
Do you play league at Wapplehurst?
Occasionally.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Why? That's a weird question.
I just didn't know if maybe like somebody made up some rules or something because of some of the antics you had at the Wapplehurst ballpark, or if you wanted to talk about that, or.
No, we don't need to talk about that. No, you can't play loud music or bring outside liquor in the Wapplehurst. Partially due to me and Joe Lewis.
Okay, continue. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
But like even then, like even at these, like it's so especially in Nashville, it was like 110 with a heat index, and we played. I think we went 14-2.
So how did you end up so? Let's see. I'm gonna pull this picture up real quick. Just if it's the right one, which real quick, by the way, well we got Sammy on the screen here. Let's
You have Sammy?
Oh yeah. We got Sammy on the screen here. Look at Sammy. Look at Sammy. He looks so happy.
You're on my TV right now, but it's not popping up. But...
Oh, it'll show up for you here in a second. So the live feed will be a little bit behind what I'm actually doing on the computer here. But yeah, okay. I mean, Sammy, he's so happy. Just look at him. I mean, tell me that's not a man that's not having a good time, a genuinely good time.
I wish I had the rest of that video because it's like a 2 Snapchat long thing, and he's like rocking it back and forth. Like you can see him like getting ready to rock it at the end there.
Yeah.
And he just goes hard for like 10 seconds, and it's the funniest thing. And I wish I had the rest of it, and I have no clue where the rest of that video is.
I love it.
I just remember us walking to the car. Me and Josh were miserable because first of all, we just ate like 4 pounds of food each.
Sure, yeah.
And then Sam, like all of us are almost to the parking lot. Sammy goes, PJ, take a video of me. I turn around. Here's Sammy in a polo, some basketball shorts, and a chaos hat sitting on a horse.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how quickly he like changed out of his, he was just like ready to rock.
Do you remember how hot it was that day?
Yeah, but like this is what you chose to wear though, bro? I mean, I
You
guess
know, he's probably this is that I had spare clothes in my trunk outfit.
that is also true. Or you kept
Like
the chaos hat on.
I got off the golf course and went to a bar and didn't want to wear my so I threw it
So
in the trunk.
so you talk about Nashville. You talk about 110 degrees. I do believe this is the picture from Nashville, if I'm not mistaken. I have to know. Let me know when you can see this picture.
I'm waiting.
Because I have to know, how did you
It's
end up
really loud.
so dirty?
Okay, so that ground was like a red. I think it was red brick dust,
Oh, yeah. So
but it
it
was
gets
like
on everything.
it was well compact though. Like it wasn't like terrible. You know what I mean?
Sure. But just when you get the
And
dust on something, it gets on everything.
I know I sent this to my teammates from Nashville, like the podcast. I'm sure one of them will chime in. I think we played 9 straight that day.
Golly, that's insane.
We started at 9 a.m. and I think the only time we had a break was we had a 20-minute break because the game was in extra innings.
It probably felt like an hour, didn't it?
It did, and we were all sitting there like chugging liquid IVs, cold towels. I mean, no one was willing to take their shoes off during that.
Dude, no, hell no.
I remember my feet were so you know how hey dudes are a little bit looser. Like
Yeah, well, yeah,
looser.
I see you're rocking your Hey Dudes here right now in this picture. Of course, you're done playing at this point.
Well, my feet literally filled those Hey Dudes out. They were so swollen.
That's tough.
It's not even. I had to throw away the turfs I had from that weekend.
So who is this gentleman in the picture with you here?
That's Mr. Michael Levi Shahusky.
Okay.
He's from I think he's from like Springfield or Columbia. He's
So
from your area.
a fellow Missourian then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the picture was just Missouri boys doing Missouri things.
Out here winning.
But,
So you've got a bottle in your hands and you got a bat in the other hands. So tell me a little bit about like some of the prizes and stuff you can win, because I mean, obviously there's reward for doing well. You could say you won the tournament, but then there's incentive on top of this, right?
Yeah, let me pull up the new Spiderz, like the new what you can win. That's the new prize package is wild.
Okay.
But the one we won for taking second, it was like 152 teams or something like that.
Okay.
And we took second. We got bats, those Team Just Pures. We got custom batting gloves and a bottle of Jack Daniels that was only I think it was the top 8 finishers got it.
So this is something they do it up every year, every tournament for all the prizes and stuff, right? So that wasn't just like a
So the prizes seem to get better and better every year. If you make the national championship, which is if you're the top 192 in points,
okay,
you play for $20,000 worth of prizes.
Holy smokes!
It's 15. It's 15 grand cash, and then $5,000 in other stuff.
Wow. So that's something you got the opportunity to do, 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Team wasn't too great, but we had a good time.
Hey, man, it's all about the experience. If I was going to something like that, I mean, obviously, you plan to do well, but at the end of the day, it's the experience too, you know?
Well, it's so what's wild is I knew probably 12 out of the 16 coaches. And I got drafted by a guy that I had never met before. He's a great guy, Matt Corbin. Fantastic man. Knows the game very well. But again, I had no clue who this man was.
So, I mean, that's kind of the thing about it, though, right? Is it's not like you go in pairs or say if you and your girlfriend or you and your wife or whoever wanted to go, you're not guaranteed to be on the same team, right?
Not at all.
See, I like that. I enjoy that aspect.
It's cool. The first team I ever played on in Lauderdale, I had a husband and wife on my team.
Oh, really?
It was Gio and Daisy.
Okay.
They're both from Miami. I ended up going down the league and playing in Miami for a night.
Nice.
With Gio, I got cussed out by some Dominican man telling me I was swinging a shaved bat.
You getting cussed out? I can't believe that.
I was probably the worst hitter on my team, on this league team. I was awful compared to the rest of the team. And this man is just going, and I'm just standing there. I'm I have no clue what this guy's saying right now. Nothing at all.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm sure you could tell he's pissed off at you, right?
pretty much.
Yeah, love that.
Okay, so here's the new. Here's what they got in Sin City, I guess.
Okay, that's the one coming up when?
That was the one in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
They got a new Pure. They got a bat bag. They got limited batting gloves. They got a berth. No, there was another one. The new one, like you get the new. I'm trying to find the new prize package because the new prize package is absurd, and I can't find the picture of it.
So if you win, say you win this tournament, you don't get to take your team and go to the finals or whatever. You're on the team. So explain to me how that works. Like, how did you end up in a situation where you were able to make it to like the finals or whatever?
So my PCB team went like 3-2. So like we didn't really win too many games, but I mean honestly, that team from PCB was probably the most talented draft team I've had. But then there was a tornado that came through, so we had to go to one pitch. And I definitely think that set us back. But like we had a game we scored like 43 runs in.
Holy
in 3
smokes! In 3 innings?
Yeah.
God.
We literally hit around. I think it was like 3 times in the first inning.
That's insane.
Sometimes you just get on those teams that are like you click real quickly. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
And then there's the tournaments like I've got the year before in PCB. My team went 0-4. I feel like every individual on that team could play ball, but there was no. It was bad. We went 0-4. But those are the times I've had the most fun.
Yeah, and it would be a unique experience just in the aspect of everybody's there for the same cause, you know? It's not like, well, what are you doing here? I don't know who I'm playing with. Like, going in, you don't know who you're going to be playing with.
Exactly. And you really get to play with, like, your friends. You know what I mean?
Sure. You end up making friends. You've made a decent number of friends from these tournaments as well, right?
I made a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Almost like an overwhelming amount of friends. I mean,
so what's like cost wise? I mean, is it just like, like if I was to go play a regular tournament, we're talking like what, $25-$30. Now, obviously, you're talking what? You usually when you sign up, you get what? Uniforms, batting gloves. What all do you get, and how much does that cost?
So if you're alumni, it costs, I think it's like $225.
Okay.
If you're new, it's $250. I don't understand that $25 difference, but
I mean, $25 is $25, right?
Yeah, it's their world. We're just living in it.
I've said that to you quite a few times, but anyway.
It's so you get a hat, 3 jerseys, 2 pairs of shorts, batting gloves. You can get 2 headbands instead of a hat. I feel like I'm missing something. I probably am missing something. But I mean, so you get a decent player package for what you're entering for, and then you factor in like they're paying for umpires. Like you get legitimate umpires. Like Lee's always at those.
Yeah. I've seen. So I'm friends with Lee Edgers on Facebook, and I've seen him at a number of these as well. Lee's a great umpire. I don't know. I believe he was in the conference still last year. He's a Conference USSSA umpire, and
conference umpire of the year like 5-6 years ago. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's a great umpire. We actually had him. I've had him a couple different times, but the first time we ever had him, he was actually just like passing through the area and got to talking to one of the directors, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm headed here." And he says, "What do you think about stopping an umpire in a tournament for me on a Saturday?" And we were in Lee Summit, Missouri, and he just was like, "He's like, well, yeah, sure, we'll roll in." And had him for an umpire. It was a great experience. He's a super great guy, good umpire. He can a good umpire can really bring life to a game.
That's the thing is like the umpires they hire, like there's a few of them that are real questionable. Don't get me wrong. But
that's anywhere.
I've always told you, as long as they're consistent, you can't review.
Sure.
That's always been my thing. Like you can be awful, but if you're consistent, you're a good umpire.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing about it is if I know, especially being a pitcher, you and I are both pitchers, especially being a pitcher, like if I can get away with a 12 or 13 foot pitch, then I can't be mad if you're calling it from both sides. Now if I'm throwing these 12 or 13 footers and I'm not getting him, and the other guy is, I could see something to be mad about. But like you said, it's about being consistent. A consistent umpire is a good umpire.
So I don't know if they've ever been changed, but the original rules in Spiderz was 4 foot from the floor.
Okay.
So I think he was going for 3 foot from release, like he was trying to get with that. But it's 4 foot from the floor to 10 feet. So you get so many of those umpires that still call it like that.
Sure.
And now you're playing like modified fast pitch. Because like a 4 foot from the floor, the ball still has to be coming down as it crosses home plate.
Yeah. What is it? Is it WSL? WSL, I believe at one point used to be 3 feet from the ground, floor ground, same thing. But man, that's wild. I mean, that is borderline fast. If as long as you can get it to come down, I mean that's borderline fast pitch.
So in Lauderdale, they had the rule that if you weren't pitching with a helmet, you had to use a screen, but the screen was live.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
So if you hit the screen and it bounces back to the backstop, that's a double. Like damn near every time.
So that is interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Now it's just pitchers have to wear masks. Like there's no other rule. Like the pitchers have to wear masks.
So there's no screen, but the pitcher has to have a mask.
Yeah, but now it's like you start giving pitchers that low pitch, they're gonna start trying to abuse that. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. When I have a pitch below 4 feet, it's going back through the middle. If I have a pitch above 10 feet, it's going back through the middle.
Well, that's also because you're an asshole, but
that's also because that's just about the only thing I can confidently do with that pitch.
Yeah. When it comes to like those pitches you have to hit, sometimes it just works that way. Like I'm the same way. If I try and hit that really low inside pitch, even a low inside pitch, I can't turn on it. Like if it's super flat, it's a baseball thing. I think to just instinctively just try and go back through the middle with it.
So in Coco, I hit 2 home runs in one game, and after I hit one, I think it was like my second one, the guy goes, "How do you cut a ball like that?" I was like, "I just envision trying to hit the pitcher in the face." And it just does that. I was like, if I intentionally try to hit the pitcher, it doesn't happen.
Right, yeah. It's probably the safest way to like stay away from the pitchers to try and hit them.
Pretty much. Like if I try to hit a pitcher, I elevate so terribly, and I don't know why.
Oh man, that's funny.
So anytime you see me like just confidently cutting balls to the fence, it's usually because I'm trying to hit the pitcher.
Noted. Okay.
And that's what my mindset is going into my at bat.
So you talk about pitchers and safety and things like that. Do they compression test at these tournaments?
No, and I wish they did, but it would take so long if they did.
Yeah, because you're talking what? So you mentioned earlier the number of players. So how many teams? How many teams?
12 players at Nashville's like 150 something.
150 teams of 12 players.
Yeah,
that's. Let's see,
like
quick math. That's 1,800 people.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, dude. That's wild.
It's a great time, honestly. Like there's so like even then, like I'm getting added to teams. Like I just got added to my PCB team.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know maybe like 2 of these people. I was like, the rest of them have to be new. No, I've done 5 drafts. No, I've done 6 drafts. I was like, what?
So there's just that many people you just don't you couldn't. There's no way you could know them all.
There's literally I meet someone new that's done every draft I've done every time I go to one.
That's pretty sweet.
It's almost overwhelming.
So when's your next one? You said PCB is when?
April, that second weekend of April.
Okay.
Like the 8th
or
7th. I can never remember.
See, that's crazy. It's what Q just said in the chat here. He said there's not even that many people where he lives. Yeah, that's like literally a whole town's worth of people like congregating to play softball together. That's kind of wild. So do you guys does everybody get together and go out and do stuff or?
So there's a meet and greet usually like the first night we get down there. PCB, they do it at this bar called Sharky's, and like they have like the whole beachfront, and they do a cornhole tournament the first day.
Oh, that's lit.
They usually do the home run derby that day too, like earlier in the day. There's a bunch of stuff like, and PCB is like it's a tourist town, so it's like any random bar you go to down there, you're probably gonna run into 10 to 15 people from Spiderz.
Yeah, especially being that amount of people there. Yeah.
And that's the thing is like you're not going to go. That's the reason that's why I like Nashville. And Nashville, a lot of people spend time at the fields.
Really?
is what I've noticed.
I mean, dude, if I'm at the beach, I'm probably going to the beach too. I mean, let me go 0-2 so I can go to the beach.
What's fun now is like if your team goes, I think it's 0-3, or like you lose your first two pool. If you lose your first, I don't remember how it's done, but you have to go, I think 0-3, and you get put in a doghouse bracket.
Okay.
And so, which is still like a 30-team single elimination tournament of just like the teams that weren't very good.
Kind of like a what do you call it? What's a softball tournament that used to do that?
It's like a lower bracket, pretty much.
Yeah, right. So what's that? Is that like on a Sunday then? I guess after everything.
No,
okay.
They do it. Usually starts Saturday night, rolls into Sunday morning. So like you could still go home with something.
Do they? I mean, do you play through the night there?
No, I think they almost did last year.
Oof.
Due to the what's it called, the tornado.
Okay.
But even then, with a one-pitch tournament, which I despise one pitch, because it's like you throw two balls and all of a sudden the bases are loaded because there's a girl behind somebody.
See, that would get old quick, but at the same time, there's 150 teams there. You got to do something to keep it moving.
Yeah, but you think about like, you remember the old days of like the huge overnight tournaments at BMAC when there was like 30+ teams?
See, I never got to play in when they were that big. I've only played in one. It was the one we were just speaking of earlier. That's the only overnight tournament I've ever played in. I'd love to play in like the bigger ones or even just a handful more of them. Especially being like when I was working midnights, everybody's like walking around all tired, like, fucking snorting monsters and doing all this stuff to stay awake. And I'm just standing here like, let's go. Like, this is my time.
Well, then there's like, what's it called? What was the tournament? Home Runs for Heroes. Remember the terrible poll we had?
Oh gosh, dude.
Where we played it. There was no time to go to a hotel.
No.
And I had Big Tim slept in my car with me. So
at least you knew you were safe.
I had no worries at all. At that park, I could have said whatever I wanted, and would have just been okay with myself.
Yeah, I liked him, man. Tim's a good time. I'd have him on the podcast, but he'd say like 5 words the whole time. So,
would you introduce him to Gator Do?
Yeah. It was so funny. Like the next day, he's like, you know how it is in a group chat when you're playing like a pickup tournament thing. It's like, hey, everybody's like, hey guys, had a good time, this and that, and he chimes in the next day. He's like, had a good time. He goes, what do you say? He said, I learned one thing. He goes, Mountain Dew and Gatorade are good as fuck together.
That's like the only thing he said in that group chat the whole time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he said that, and then the guys that, like, if you guys know Tim, if I got anybody local listening, like Tim's a super good dude, man. He's always good vibes. He's never in the middle of trouble, anything else. And like the only time you'll ever hear him say something is once in every great while. If you hear him oop on a softball, there's probably a decent chance he beat the cover off of that thing.
He doesn't oop. He barks.
Well, okay, whatever you want to call it.
There's no oop behind that. It's a straight up, like, it sounds like a pit bull.
So we're playing, doing our thing, and we're rolling. We had a really good team that year. Had a bunch of good dudes. We're out there playing, and he hits this ball. The guy hadn't said but like 2 words all day long. He's one of those guys that, like, he's not standoffish, but he's probably not going to speak to you unless you speak to him. And I'm totally fine with that. So, like, he's just, kind of vibing, doing his thing. And then he hits this ball that, like, almost knocked the fence over. And he just goes, woof, when he hit it. It's like the first thing he'd said in, like, an hour. And we're all just kind of like, he did that?
I mean, if you think about it, that team we had that year, we'd have to play B with.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah, we had a hell of a team. We had a good time, too. Somebody took a dump behind Snacks' car. I always like to remind him of that every time he's on the podcast.
That really happened.
Yeah, that 100% happened.
It's the first I'm hearing of this.
Oh, are you serious?
I think so.
So, was it him and Beal and Tip was it Tip? I can't remember. Yeah, it was Tip.
Yeah, it hadn't been Tip.
Yeah, so they were taking a nap. I could get the story wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's how it goes. So they were taking a nap in their car. They had the windows down because it wasn't raining at the time. And, like, somebody wakes up, they get to turn around, and somebody, and Beal was like, did you fart? It's like, no. It's like they're all looking around, like trying to like question each other, like who fucking farted, right? And about that time, Snack sees somebody stand up from behind his car and like make the motion like they're pulling their pants up and just walk off. Somebody legit took a dump behind his car. Dude. Like, true story. I can't believe you never heard that story.
What? This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
Oh, man. I always try to remind him that every time he's on here. I give him, no pun intended, I give him so much crap about it. It's so funny.
Why is this the first I'm hearing of this?
I don't know. Get out more often.
I probably pay attention to the podcast more often.
Yeah, you're going to have to because it was a good time. It's stuff like that. But, it's the same thing. It's like, it's just a big pickup team. And there's a lot of teams that go down there and play. They'll play tournament ball with their teams all year long and then pick up for something for home runs for heroes. And it's kind of the same thing with the pickup tournament, kind of like the Spiderz thing is like, well, understand we're there for when we're there for home runs for heroes, it's for a cause. It's a fundraiser tournament and everything else. The same thing with the Spiderz deal. Like, we're all here to play softball for the same reason. We're all fans of the Spiderz drafts and the Spiderz equipment and things like that. So it's pretty cool. It's really piqued my interest here lately, especially now that we've got more locals going. We had Andre in the vlog last week. He's been to a couple, and then he took a couple of guys with him. Have you had anybody local on any of your teams yet besides Levi there?
I have a guy from Festus on my team for this PCB one. I've never met him before. So that's like 35, 40 minutes for me, I guess.
Sure, yeah. Is that this coming year or this coming tournament?
This coming tournament.
Okay.
Who else?
Did I see Pat say something about he's on your team?
No, Pat Sexton plays. He goes to him.
I thought he said something about he was on your team.
No, we were real close to being on each other's team.
Oh, maybe that's what he meant.
But we were like 2 picks away from being on each other's team.
No way.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Old Pat, that's another good one.
If you know who Tim Chaney is.
Do not.
He was a guy, I think he passed away about a year ago now.
Oh, that's too bad.
He originally got drafted in my PCB team, but they replaced him with his cousin after he passed.
Oh, okay.
So we had his cousin. She's from Iowa, I think.
Okay.
Aubrey. Yeah, I think she's from Iowa. It's Iowa or Indiana. One
Okay.
of those Iowa states. But, like, this Nashville team, like, everybody talks about, like, how they met, like, family there. Like, this past Nashville team, like, I'm flying out to Washington in September to go to one of their weddings.
What? No way.
Yeah, like, it's like that. It's like a legitimate family with that team.
That's lit.
The team. That's the team. I mean, we spent all day, every day at the park together because we're on the field 24/7 in Nashville.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody from that team is from, like, a different corner of the state or the country.
See, that's pretty cool. That's the kind of stuff I'm all about. Like, so I'm asking all these questions. I've been talking about this. Like, I'm super intrigued to try to go to one of these. I'm not a big, like, travel the country and play softball kind of guy, but for something like that, I feel like I definitely could be.
I definitely feel like Nashville would be a good one for you to get into.
Yeah, Nashville would be good.
Especially because everybody does spend so much time at the fields, and, like, you really get to meet everybody and see everybody.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Nashville was definitely experience. So I always so Ed and I just had this conversation. Any team I don't pitch on in these, we're not going to do well. If I'm our best option at another position, it's just not going to go well because I could be not even your best option at pitcher, but I know I can throw strikes and
Sure.
I know I can do that. You tell me I'm our best shortstop. Oh, we're in trouble.
So what is it? So it used to be you could just get randomly selected. Your position didn't matter, right? And then now it's gone to drafted based on position.
This time they broke. Well, so they broke it down like they had like groups of like 3 positions that you could choose from, kind of thing. So like it was like catcher, EH, pitcher, or catcher, EH, whatever, and then first base or second base, shortstop, third base, and then outfield, stuff like that.
Okay.
Now it seemed like I think they drafted by like actual position this time.
Interesting.
Which was weird.
I mean, kind of in theory though, that's how it should be, right?
Yeah, but I kind of like the chances of the draft because like you get those teams like my PCB team. We had a guy that just won the major conference 40 and over.
Damn. Okay.
This year he actually won. He beat Dudley, the Dudley 40 and over team in Vegas too.
Nice.
And then he won D Worlds the year we got him. He played middle for us. We had a B shortstop, and then our third baseman Gary. That man hits absolute creatures. He's like a 6'5", 6'6" man.
Good God.
Built like an NFL tight end.
That's a large human.
He hits creatures and then he tells me he plays like D and E ball. So he's just throwing his hands and hitting line drives to the fence. And
Sure.
I'm just like, what the hell is this? So then you get like my Nashville team. We were like you know it's gonna be a fun team whenever I don't have to talk.
I mean, how do you not? I'm not sure I believe that.
You can ask them. I had to say very minimal words.
Had to or wanted to? That I guess that'd be two different things, right?
I didn't need to talk. We had a bully.
Golly.
We had a big, large man that you weren't going to hear the end of him.
So you got all this going on. You got all these players signing up and all these groups being made. Like, what qualifications does it take to be a coach? Tony had that question here in the chat. Like, are the coaches randomly selected as well, or?
So for the national championship, it's the top 16 in points.
Okay.
So those are like they pick their own teams. Otherwise, it's all random generated. Like, it's not like there is no coach. Like, your team assigns a coach to like get like your book and everything.
Okay.
But like there is no coach. Like, you don't pick your own team. No one picks a team.
Also, okay, so the one you just participated in was the only one where the coaches are actually drafting the players. Otherwise, it's just randomly generated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm following you now.
The random generation kind of brings that. You could end up with anybody. Like my PCB team, we have a conference girl on the team.
Nice.
Who plays with Proton.
Okay, so I was going to ask you that as well. Like, as far as like, caliber of players, I mean, I'm assuming it's probably people from all walks of life and calibers of softball and everything else. I've seen one guy saying in the comments on our Facebook post that, he was kind of like over softball, and then these have like kind of like lit the fire for him again to want to play softball again. So you pretty much run into anybody, right?
Yeah. The first one, there was a couple like B and A players from Massachusetts, the one I went to in Lauderdale. All just large men.
Of course.
That's the scare. That's the thing. But right now, like, you see a lot more of like the major conference 40 and over guys. So like all the guys from DDA, most of them play in it. And I mean, like, Dan Brown hits the ever living shit out of the ball. Yesbick, Jose played with me, and PCB I played with Yesbick like 2 Nashvilles ago.
So if can the senior players swing senior bats, or what do you swing for bats down there?
I swing my NBS. I mean, you can swing anything. It's anything besides seniors.
Oh, really? So you could swing an ASA bat as well if you wanted?
Yeah, and I mean, there's advantages to it. Like, if you have one of those the Anarchies, they'd probably treat you right.
Yeah, something like a juggy or something with that, like an inner barrel tech, because you hit a hard ball, right?
They're 44 375s, but they're non-sanctioned 44 375s. They're made by Bam Tank.
Okay.
Bam Baracus makes a hell of a ball.
Golly, so man, it's like sitting here thinking about that. I could hit a 44, an unsanctioned 44 with a DeMarini juggy. Like, shut up and take my money.
Well, the thing is like I swung my Envious PCB last year. I was swinging that the One Nation Pure. The Moneyball one.
Yeah.
And that bet's really good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I bought it and it failed out of wrapper.
Sweet.
I literally bought it at Mojo, got it tested, and it failed.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. But I mean, I swing like that Envious. I'll probably swing this Halsey Light once I get it fixed.
Have you hit that anymore?
So I hit it today off the tee, and it's the end cap came off. It's clean.
Really? So I do know those are bad about the end caps busting on them. So,
well, that a lot of those Micans were like, especially like the Freak 30 was around the time. The highlighter one, I have a buddy that's making like 3 of the end caps off their highlighters. So like I know the Worths Micans are kind of known for it, so I wasn't too worried about it. I do have a message out to a guy to make sure that is the correct end cap.
Yeah.
But for $100 purchase,
dude, hey, listen, that's a banger for $100.
And it passes.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
It's clean. So the end cap came off today. I thought like it started coming off, so I just pulled it off. It's clean.
Yeah, it almost had for it to have that many swings on it. I mean, you can just tell. I mean, that thing looked like hell.
I don't think it has that many swings. I
You
think
know,
it's just been dragged through hell through somebody's bag or like cement.
so the interesting thing with buying bats at Played Against Sports, like around the Columbia area, from the Columbia area, is some of those are league bats from people that have played league and hit nothing but 52s the entire life of the bat. So that bat might have been hitting 52 since it was new. But it's dude, it's pretty sweet. So I'm trying to get a picture pulled up, just for the chat here, so we can get a look at like really what we're dealing with. Because I mean that thing had hardly any paint left on it at all. Great vlog, by the way. If you haven't watched the vlog, you need to go check that out. I don't know what you're doing with your life.
How did we not get anything at the Hooters?
No. So I don't know. Like that's like I feel like that's kind of creeper alert. Be rolling in the Hooters and like doing videos and such.
Because we definitely just like argued in the parking lot of that Played again for like 15 minutes about where we were gonna go eat.
That is true.
Just to end up at Hooters.
Yeah, because y'all were children and didn't want to go to Pasta Factory, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway,
I would have slept my entire drive home if I would have been that late.
So here we go. So check this thing out. I got it pulled up here. It'll show up for you here in a minute. It is a no warranty. I just noticed that, but not that it matters.
I didn't even notice it.
Like, look at this thing. There you are. Golly. I mean, that's.
Oh, it is a no warranty. It's because it's under that sticker.
Yeah.
They did that on purpose.
They thought they got us. We didn't care though.
But yeah, that thing, like, there's no seams, there's no knob wobble, which is very like what I was most surprised about. Because every older Worth I've picked up like that has a stupid knob wobble.
But this is just so crazy. Like, I don't know. I enjoy bats like this because it's like, man, it looks like it's been through hell, but it's still hanging in there. Here we are, slamming out the compression tester, 1450. It's right on the line. I mean, it's like 225-ish, but it's passing.
It's definitely something that, like, if I can get this end cap fixed, I'd probably just stick it in my bag and swing it for Worlds, and only at Worlds.
I mean, you swing it wherever. I mean,
yeah, but I don't want to drop it anymore.
Oh, okay, I got what you're saying. Yeah, you want it to pass.
Yeah. If it's one of those bets that I'll probably swing at tournaments that I know my bet has to pass.
Yeah.
And it'll just stay there. That last call finally got rid of that ting.
Did you hit it some more today?
I took like 200 swings of just like classic M's in a brutally cold barn of a BP stage.
Love it.
And it finally went away. I picked up an Easton I liked. You know it's big things for PJ.
Yeah, we don't Easton get too much hype. It costs too much money. Dad's cheap.
What did I hear on Pure's live stream yesterday when they were doing the challenge? They said, didn't Mike and Worth buy Easton or something like that?
So the parent company of Mike and Worth did buy Easton's Diamond Sports technology. I believe it's just their Diamond Sport technology. So basically, it's going to be their fast pitch and their slow pitch. They're not going to do away with the brand. The brand's not going away. It's just going to be basically 3 separate brands for now. We'll see what happens with it later. But I do know that one of the guys, Don Cooper, who is very involved with Easton, did say that the brand is not going away. He did at least clarify that.
So do you think Mike and Worth is going to adopt some of that Fireflex technology?
No. I mean, they got their own stuff. I don't think it's necessarily for merging technology, getting technologies together. I think it's more of just trying to control. Honestly, if you want to be 100% honest, I think it's just kind of their way of trying to control the market a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I do think. How do you feel about this statement? Someone told me the new Anarchy 240s feel the same as the Mike and 240s.
No, I don't feel that way. Not even a little bit.
Someone told me that when Leaf left, he took that technology with him.
The mic and stuff?
Yeah, because he was with ASP doing all that stuff.
Right. No, I mean, obviously, I'm nobody, so I don't know. But no, I don't feel that way. No, whatever he's done to help them out has made an improvement. I will say that. They're too honestly, like I know that there's so we do have a decent, I should say, a decent number. There are people that watch these podcasts and do this thing. They are Anarchy fans, and I'm completely fine with that. But they're just their 220s and their 240s. Like the 240s are so much better. The 220s were decent, and their 240s are good. Their 240s are good bats. So they've obviously did something to get things going in the right direction. But
So remind me, I'm reading through the comments finally.
yeah,
Remind me whenever I get to PCB, I'll message Bam, and I'm gonna try to guess a few dozen of his balls.
yeah. Evil balls are obviously still BP Hero's choice, but we're always down to mess around and experiment with whatever we can find.
Yeah, but you said you'd never swing Monster, so here we are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm done with them. You already got rid of every one of them I had. Just saying.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was watching your Nihilist video the other day.
Watching what?
The Nihilist, the DB44.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
I want one of them.
We had fun with that one. But, all right, man, we'll listen.
You, Quentin Mitchell to Vegas?
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, I can drive you guys around. I'm not drinking. No way. No way, no how.
Well, Quentin said he's in, so.
That would be fun. Maybe we should try and do that. I don't know, got a pretty cram-packed summer here as far as softball goes. But like maybe something like because they have them all year long, right? It's not just like they have like certain times of the year. They run them all through the year, correct?
Yeah, they're all through the year. Vegas is usually the last one of the year, and then it kicks back off now in February.
Okay. So yeah,
so between us, yeah.
It's like once like Worlds and everything is over, maybe we ought to try and squeeze one in.
Halloween weekend in Vegas.
Ooh, that I'm gonna tell you something. Halloween weekend in Vegas sounds like trouble waiting to happen.
Especially with me and Quentin together.
Mitchell's a wild card too. Don't sleep on him.
We're just gonna not let Mitchell get in trouble.
Good luck. He creates his own trouble.
Fair enough.
But listen, man, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for stopping in and letting the people hear about the Spiderz Mega Draft. I've had lots of questions. We connected a lot of dots. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued now. You might have me sold on going to one. We'll have to try and get like a bunch of like BP Hero people together to go to one. Because I've been talking about doing like a BP Hero tournament somewhere. So maybe like it would be cool to have like a bunch of BP Hero followers go to a Mega Draft. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Nashville. I'm telling you, it's the one.
Nashville. That'd be a nice, easy drive too.
It's like 5 hours.
Yeah. I could get down with that.
And I think sign-ups are like middle of April. It's like the 17th and the 18th.
When is that tournament, like date-wise? Is there a list?
Yeah, there is. If you go to spiderzmegadrafts.com.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Let me do that right now.
There should be a list of dates that pops up like first thing. That or it's going to take you to like one of the actual draft pages.
So... Oh, holy cow. Yeah, they got them right here. So let's zoom out on that. Oh, shit. Too far. So it looks like there's 6 of them. Is that right?
There'd be, Phoenix, PCB, 2 in Nashville, 2 in Vegas. So 7, 6.
6.
And then the national championship.
Yeah. So we got Phoenix, Panama City, Nashville again. Or wait. Okay, so they do 2 in Nashville.
So they do 2 in Nashville and 2 in Vegas.
Like back-to-back?
Yeah, so back-to-back weekends.
Whoo-wee.
So the first one, so the mega one, if you go to like the first picture, what's it one? That one's for like all the alumni. Like they have first dibs at that one.
Oh, okay.
So the Mega Draft 2 is for anybody.
Got you. So it's the alumni only for the first one? Is that what you're saying?
So the alumni have first dibs at it. Doesn't mean you can't get in.
Okay.
As a rookie, but I mean it's not typical. I mean, you have to think from last year alone. There's 3,000 alumni.
Sure.
So to see those first 3 drafts, the fact that there was any open space, I knew there would be open space for PCB because of the weather from last year. Figured it would deter a lot of people.
Right.
Nashville's their biggest draft every year. They use 3 different complexes.
And it's all one division as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, but the thing is like, you could end up with, like, Nick Utley used to play in them.
Okay.
Who plays for Louisville. He used to play for Nightmare. There's a few other conference players playing them. They're a good time. Like, it's just genuinely, like, it's all about who you get in the draft.
Sure.
Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. So maybe we'll have like a BP Hero meetup at a Spiderz Mega Draft. That'd be kind of dope.
A BP Hero. Well, I've talked to Ed and Wayne. They're both interested in getting on with you one of these nights. So.
Maybe we'll grill them a little bit more. Maybe have them. If they do it in Columbia, I'm in.
Every time I bring it up to Ed, and he's like, "PJ, who wants to go to St. Louis?"
I mean, who don't?
That's what I answer with. I'm like, "Have you ever been to the East Side, Ed?"
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, we talked about the gentlemen's clubs over in East St. Louis. I mean, over on the East Side.
It's like it's fan base in baseball. It was like St. Louis gave you your guys' best pitcher in Milwaukee. I was like, what else do you want? I was like, what else do you guys need in life? No, yeah. They offered him BMAC for free at one point.
Really?
Yeah, it's a huge tourist attraction for the area.
Wow.
You're selling out hotels with that many. You're talking about a tournament with more teams than most T-ball tournaments and like fast pitch tournaments bring in.
Maybe he heard about the funk in the air from the landfill. Maybe it was a deterrent.
It's honestly like St. Louis is not like, it would not be the most ideal place to have one of these.
I mean, there's an airport right there. Everybody can just fly in.
Yeah, I mean, there's an airport and everything, but like tourist attraction wise and like things to do.
PJ, you just think that because you don't live there. I could spend days in St. Louis checking stuff out.
I guess you need to talk to Ed about that one then.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll rattle his cage about it sometime soon. Listen, I'm gonna let you go. Got my wife waiting on me. We got Ozark season 4 going, so I gotta go get going on that.
I've never seen any of them, so.
God. Anyway, now's a good time to hang the phone up then.
All right. Bye, buddy.
See you, buddy. All right, so everybody, thanks for stopping in and checking out the podcast. This was a good one. We had a good time. PJ is one of my favorite shitheads, and he's been in these Spiderz things for a while. It's always been intriguing to me. So to get him sat down and be able to talk to him about these was really cool. It sounds like some of the Spiderz representatives, owners, whatever, might be interested in coming on the podcast, so maybe that's something we'll work on as well. But in the meantime, what I need you to do, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications for this channel, head over to the bphero.com and do the same over there so you can keep up with all this content when it's coming out. Swing hard in case you hit it, and the BP Hero catch you next time.